Dun, 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 dun.
You.
Oh man, that's not what it was. I was trying to do the Justice League theme song from the show.
Okay.
No, it
No.
wasn't. Dun, dun, dun. You would have. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I was kind of tempted to make a quick music video of showing footage of Superman like flying with you and showing like just like a little bit. But I had more important stuff to do.
Got you.
So anyway, hi, welcome to End Credit Reviews on episode of After the Credits on End Credit Reviews. This is Tyler from End Credit Reviews.
And Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
Yes, and we just got back from watching Justice League.
It is about time.
Yes, yeah. Before we get into the movie, I think we should do a little bit of history. So I think originally the Justice League started off as like the Justice Society or something like that back in the 40s. But what happened was I heard that the reason why Superman and Batman were not in it because they were too busy. I guess the reason why. Yeah, or maybe that was their code word for, oh, this is lame.
The normies.
And so then in the 60s, they kind of revived it by calling it the Justice League of America. We had Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. And eventually we got Superman and Batman and Green Arrow.
Yep.
And because of the success of this, the people at Timely Comics, before they changed their name to Marvel, was thinking, maybe you should copy them. So thus, Fantastic Four was created and so on and so forth. So now with this new Justice League movie out now, which in a way was inspired by what the MCU was doing, it kind of comes full circle if you think about it.
It sure does.
And of course there was the Super Friends series. I never really watched it. You know, that from the 70s I think it was, or whatever time period it was.
Yeah,
and then of course we had the Justice League animated series from the 2000s. Yeah, you watched that. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, yeah. The Justice League animated series is fantastic. I would say, I think you said it yourself, that it's only secondary, maybe to Batman the Animated Series. And it's a fantastic show. Great chemistry between the characters, and a lot of the expectations that we have are from that show. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, there was another show that's coming back called Young Justice. That could have been on par with Batman the Animated Series if it didn't get canceled too soon. But it's supposed to be coming back, so alright. So there was this new one on called Justice League Action, which is, I think it's entertaining, but it's not as amazing as the one from the 2000s. They're kind of like...
Wasn't there Justice League Unlimited, too?
Well, that was part of the Justice League animated series. I mean, it was a title change to kind of give it like a new face.
I gotcha, yeah.
In a way, and kind of expand on it or whatever.
Right.
So, to the movie itself, now of course this is supposed to be the big thing that was leading up to the, I guess you can call it the phase 1
of DC.
Of the DCEU. There was Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and now we have Justice League. Yeah, so the plot to Justice League is about Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, played by Ben Affleck, is trying to get a bunch of costume superheroes to come together because of an invasion that is coming. Yeah, in the Justice League, part of the people a part of it is Wonder Woman, played by Gal Gadot.
Boo thing.
I know, he was pretty much... drooling every time she was on screen.
Ooh, resuscitate me.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't hear this audio and wants a restraining order.
Oh, jeez.
You're probably like, that just makes me want some more.
Oh, jeez. No, I'm not Harvey Weinstein. Settle down.
I'm glad you brought him up because we'll bring that back for later. I want to do that. So we have The Flash, played by Ezra Miller. We have Aquaman, played by Jason Momoa. I said that right. And we have Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher. And yeah, so this is a movie that people were iffy about. I mean, Wonder Woman showed that it won critics over, which shows that even they, once in a while, can actually have a good opinion.
Yeah, I am very much of the mind that they gave that movie the slide because of feminism.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. I can see why.
Aggressive recently. But at the same time, I'm happy for it because they needed some positive support, even if it was for the wrong reasons.
And also, it was
yeah.
the first legitimately good superhero movie with a female lead.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had Supergirl, Catwoman, and Elektra.
Yeah.
Not really good examples.
Hot garbage.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the actresses being the hot part, I guess, of the garbage. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, this is a movie that has the antagonist that we might know about. I mean, we knew about him because we watched the Justice League animated series.
Any DC fans can see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, definitely. This is Steppenwolf, played by, I mean, of course, well, according to IMDb, it says voiced by Kieran Hinds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some European name. Sorry about that, folks. I'm not the best at names if you're new to this show. But anyway, I mean, it makes sense why he was cast in this movie because he was in the movie Excalibur, which is one of Zack Snyder's favorite movies, and a way kind of foreshadowed the ending of Batman vs. Superman.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw the ending of Excalibur, it's very similar to that, which I love it when a movie is really smart in a way, not just in its directing, but also kind of its story as well, like different elements about it. Meanwhile, the MCU fanboys and girls are like, no, that's not it. All right. But anyway, I mean, I don't really want to spend this video bashing the MCU guys.
Yeah, they've had their turn.
Yeah, it's
they
kind
will
of like
get more.
Yeah, it's kind of like that scene in the trailer from where Batman fires back and says, "My turn."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, now of course we should talk about the cast of people. Of course, I mean, we knew about besides the the people already know like Batman and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the Flash, played by Ezra Miller?
I like the Flash. I like the Flash probably most out of pretty much the other characters introduced. Victor was pretty cool too. I would say if anything,
Cyborg.
Yeah. Victor obviously being the original person before he turns into Cyborg that he's referred to as. But if anything, I think Aquaman probably got the least screen time, and that was a bit disappointing to me. But at the same time, they all got a relatively fair share of the spotlight, with I would say Batman and Wonder Woman kind of at the head because they were the leaders. So.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I did like Ezra Miller, as Flash or the Flash.
Yep.
And he was pretty funny and he was very likable. And I was just joking to myself. I mean, I was kind of iffy about him. Like, what, that one guy likes to wear red lipstick from The Perks of Being a Wallflower? Yeah, he was in that.
Oh,
I feel like the only reason... I feel like one of the reasons why a lot of critics love that movie is just because Emma Watson was in it.
You can tell just from the title why they'd love that.
I love
Perks of Being a Wallflower. I'm different.
But I did love the honest trailer joke on Spider-Man Homecoming. They call it The Perks of Being a Wall Crawler. Automatically a better movie than that other one.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Like, he was, like, there's, like, different, like, lightning showing up when he was moving and that. And there's a lot of funny stuff, too. Like, I just push people and run.
Yeah, he really came into his powers in this one. Like, that was a interesting thing that they showed. And a lot of the other superheroes that were not Batman or Wonder Woman, who clearly had veteran experience, they definitely needed some sort of stumbling phase in their combat, and especially Ezra Miller had that, but it was good to see them come into their characters.
Yeah, I liked that his father was the actor who played Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen.
I did too, yeah. Very underrated movie.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's Zack Snyder's best movie.
Yeah, I would actually tend to agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think of Jason Momoa as Aquaman?
He was, He was solid. The only thing was I feel that the Atlanteans in general, and he is included in this, of course, being the most represented. They didn't have a whole lot of time on screen. I know that a lot of the changes um, that we that occurred in Justice League, we can probably associate to Joss Whedon because he changed. I think there was word of at least 20 to 30% of the film, and I would say that definitely shows in parts from the tone, and it's pretty clear that there were certain parts just cut out entirely, which it was still fine. It worked, but some of Zack Snyder's distinct touch that I was missing a bit, I think they just kind of pulled it out. So.
Yeah, I'll get to the tone in that. But I thought it was pretty cool. I liked how he kind of reminded me of the version of Aquaman's look from the Justice League animated series. How he had like a beard and that. He was like more rough.
Definitely.
And that. But speaking of the Atlanteans, we had this one other might be love interest played by Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm.
And what were your thoughts on her again? Even though it's like pretty brief when she's in it.
Yeah, she was pretty brief, but I mean she was sufficient, and I'm interested to see where they go with that. I mean, there's obviously from the story we know about Atlantis probably a direction they're headed, but it was interesting to see Arthur as kind of this outcast who, yeah, what do you want? Kind of just coming back into mom scolding practically, and
I thought it was like a love interest of his or whatever. I don't know.
oh, but... yeah, no, I'm saying as like a mother figure being that society.
Yeah,
that,
I get you. Yeah.
Why are you so rugged? Just screw you. I can do what I want.
Yeah, maybe mild sexual tension or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, she's one of those actresses where a lot of people find her hot, but honestly, I don't.
I think she's hot. I
think she's okay.
No, I would say she's hot. She's not Gal Gadot Boothing level. But,
I get you.
She is.
Yeah, maybe
8 of 10 would bang.
Yeah, but the thing was, I guess a B for Boothing.
Yeah, B for Boothing.
Yeah, I mean, in Atlantis, she's probably looking for that gold after got drive with Johnny Depp, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was cracking jokes about how they just finished cleaning up the set from the BP oil spill.
Yeah, I mean, I love the meme where it shows her and the actor who plays Aquaman in the movie, and then below we show Emilia Clarke's character from Game of Thrones looking up angry.
Yep.
That was great.
That was.
Yeah. All right, so what are your thoughts on Ray Fisher as Cyborg?
He was pretty solid too. I wasn't sure how much we were going to talk about his character, if anything, but I would say that he definitely was probably the second most developed to Flash in terms of characters we didn't know. And he was solid, kind of a reclusionary person, which was interesting because he was so connected to the internet and things like that. It kind of probably had a social significance and commentary that was being made by him being so reclusionary and doing things over the internet. But he was good. Yeah, I overall enjoyed him. He was... Yeah, I mean, that's about all there is to say about him without spoiling things. So.
I mean, I felt like with his acting, I know he was trying to be like kind of cyborg, but in a way I felt, well, cybernetic, but I just felt like his acting was kind of too robotic. In a way, like, I'm not trying to make a pun here. I'm not trying to, I know what he was going for, but I just felt like it could have been a little more natural in that. Like, I wasn't trying to make a joke. I was just trying to.
I know. It's
I get you.
It literally is like a joke, whether it's intentional or not. But,
that's all. I mean, he did good, but I was just thinking that could have been a little bit more, not improv, but a little bit more rehearsals. I felt like could have meshed it better.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about. I felt that they were trying to do a character parallel to the Flash that was cool as well, and he did that well. He played cool and collected, similarly to Batman, but not Batman, very well.
Yeah, Miles, spoiler alert, he does say booyah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was waiting for that. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Teen Titans show.
Oh,
as a lot of
I was
people.
a fan of it.
Well, I never watched it, to be honest. I want to get around to watching it sometime.
It was solid.
But yeah, well, I think anything's better than that Teen Titans Go that's on. And what's even cringeworthy, I heard that they might make a movie called Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Oh, please. Please. If that happens, euthanasia. Please.
All right. So, I mean, speaking of another, well, he was kind of brief in the movie, was J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I got the feeling he was supposed to be in it a bit more, and that was part of what was cut. But he was fine. I mean, for the 2 minutes he was on screen, he was fine.
Yeah, no, it's hard to imagine him as anything else besides J. Jonah Jameson.
Need pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What are these nudes?
Yeah, I mean, I love the meme where it shows, like, when she sends you news, but you wanted pictures of Spider-Man.
I love that.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny how with those movies, the reason why I don't see J. Jonah Jameson in that movie, because they're so intimidated because he did such an amazing job. It's hard to admit. Anyone else would seem inferior.
True.
And, like, it's hard to really do that. Come close to him.
Yeah.
So anyway, what about we'll get back to the big three of the characters of the movie. But what did you think of the villain Steppenwolf?
Steppenwolf, to be completely honest, he felt a little underwhelming. Like, he had a big presence in the beginning and the middle, but when it came to right past the middle and the ending, it was just clear from the way that the fights were already going that this guy was not gonna hold up. Like, I'm not gonna spoil too much, but it's pretty clear. Yeah, I mean, it's a Justice League movie. Are they gonna lose? You tell me. But the way that it happened, I am a firm believer in the villains really being almost too overpowered, and some little thing pushes it over the edge in the good guy's favor. And it was just already clear to me before something that I'm not sure we'll mention came into play.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Doomsday was more of a threat than Steppenwolf.
Oh, definitely. Doomsday is probably the greatest threat that we've seen so far. I guess you could debate... no, you couldn't debate Ares, but...
maybe, possibly, or Zod.
Yeah, I was going to say Zod just because of the world engine.
General Zod, in that. I mean, that would be funny in Batman v Superman if everyone parodied him. Surprised no one, when they showed Doomsday was kind of like Zod. He should have kind of like a broken neck, like like his head won't stand up because it's like broken.
Right.
Tries to shoot. It goes like all over the place. Yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah, for like a parody.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I mean, there was this great joke he made during a part where he's on the island of Themyscira, where the Amazons are at, and he's like, "You will love me," to like the queen. And Steven said,
was it "Settle Down, Harvey Weinstein," something like that?
Pretty much what Harvey Weinstein would say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a part where the Amazons are trying to contact Wonder Woman. They shoot this flaming arrow X amount of miles or whatever, and it lands in like this in Athens, in this temple.
Yeah.
And they see in the news like, what's this fire for? And I guess it's supposed to signal Wonder Woman that, Themyscira needs her. I'm like, either that or them refugees have gone too far this time.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. But one of the questionable things I'll say in this movie, besides I felt like its shortness and length, I felt like the song choice in the opening credits was a little iffy.
Yeah, I think in terms of the sound of it, it was appropriate, but the lyrics were what? Like that's an example where it should have been a bit more brooding, and the lyrics just didn't.
Or just instrumental.
Yeah, I mean the lyrics were almost silly.
Maybe that was what Joss Whedon had it to, because
Yeah.
remember the opening credits to Watchmen? With the times they are changing. That was a lot better of a choice of a opening, what they were going for.
I am convinced that was not Zack Snyder. That was Joss Whedon.
And or Warner Brothers.
Yeah, fooling around where they shouldn't have. And cue Marvel Dick writers to rush to their defense right now. But
they probably already did
Yeah, but
before they clicked on this video.
Exactly. Oh, no, we're not going to watch this. But yeah, there were several decisions, and that was one of them where I go, that wasn't the best.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, the whole thing about this movie was that, I mean, people complained about, like, oh, why is everything so dark and brooding? Well, the way they were trying to go for it was that it's a world that is imperfect, and has a lot of problems with it. And when these heroes come together, things get better. So I felt like with this tone being more lighter than Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel,
Yeah.
it kind of showed that, hey, things are getting, like, better, and it was cool. And I
agree.
know it's kind of a mild spoiler, but, you know, the trailer's already spoiled it for you, and you expect it to show up,
Okay.
is, Superman.
Yep.
And I'm not going to say how he comes back or whatever. I mean, there's some trailer footage that suggests that Zack Snyder maybe had something different in mind or whatever. But, yeah, it was awesome. When he came back, I like how he was a lot more lighter in tone and more powerful, which was awesome, too.
Yeah.
I like the one-liners that was said.
Yeah. Are you talking about the one from BVS repeated?
Well, sort of like that, but I also love the part where Steppenwolf says, like, I believe in, this truth here. And then Superman comes in, yeah, but I'm also a fan of justice.
That was so good. Air horns.
Yeah, he just, like, pummels him, like, yeah.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah.
Everyone was waiting for him to come back, and he did come back pretty effectively. I liked how he came back, and the team was kind of like, Brotendo.
Now we can easily win.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool seeing, like, the Parademons show up in that. And also, I thought it was kind of cool seeing, like, the different worlds of these characters, what they were doing with. I felt like the whole scene with Wonder Woman stopping that bank or whatever from the guys who were Luddites or wanted to bring back the Dark Ages or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
where'd that come from?
It was basically just like the ultimate depiction of anarchists who prey on fear and mob mentality to capitalize off of people. And really, like, their plan of, okay, blowing up 4 blocks, ooh, that's gonna do it, you know?
Well, maybe, wasn't it a Swiss bank?
Yeah, okay, sure.
I
but
guess.
Swiss bank.
I think there were, well, yeah, you probably later spanked out to Wonder Woman.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, part of that may have been in the Josh Whedon kind of reshoots and that. And also with the opening credits, like, there's a part where these guys are, getting mad for no reason, like kicking the fruit. And it's like, the fruit, no!
Yeah.
And then they show this bum, and it said, I tried.
I laughed. I laughed.
Me too.
That's all it said was, I tried.
And I was thinking of Yoda from The Empire Strikes Back, where I'm like, dude, there is no try.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted Yoda to show up and do that, like smack him up on the head.
And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I am not saying that there aren't, people who've been neglected.
Yeah, but
homeless.
we just felt like
but literally
there
just,
could have been,
I tried, not like I have a family and kids to feed or something,
failed.
which is like the typical,
or
thing
like
you'd
I
see.
failed would have been better. I
guess
just
so.
felt like they could have wrote something better.
I tried. Well, try harder. At least the writers need to try harder, but
Yeah. Well, pretty much any person directing one of these movies, when they see the review score on like Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic, they're default response will be I tried, but you guys will never be
Exactly.
satisfied with us.
Exactly.
But yeah. I mean, I'm trying what I was gonna say, but yeah, I mean, every time Wonder Woman was on screen, you were like, "Oh yeah!"
Yeah.
And didn't you do this like curly thing? What was that? How did it go? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I like snapped my fingers.
I think I did it good.
bumped
I
them
think I did it
together.
good. If you've seen the Three Stooges with Curly, yeah.
Yeah, it was innuendo time whenever she was striking them good poses.
And there's a
Lord have mercy. Listen
and
to
then
this
you
line.
could kind of see her butt crack in one shot. I thought it
Yes.
was.
Yes. Oh, she was going downtown. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Call me BP Oil.
Oh, speaking of like what you were in there's this part where there's this one scene where like a bunch of liquid shoots up and it's white.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
like, right? Yes.
from like the YouTube poops.
Rational reaction to seeing Boothang. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much the world's response when that fappening happened.
True.
Pretty much.
Accumulated into one good shot.
Yeah, speaking of shot, I'm not gonna say what happens at the end credits. Wait, what? What do you think I was gonna say?
Oh no! You said speaking of shots, so I was.
All right. So speaking of shot, I'm not gonna say what happens. There's a post-credit scene, a pretty pretty funny one at the mid credits, and a pretty good and serious one at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, is like the opposite of what the MCU does. And let's be honest, they should really take notes from them, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Have like the real important thing at the end, and have the funny thing at the middle.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I feel like Marvel has it backwards, and DC actually got it right.
In that regard, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Yeah, there'll probably be a long-winded Facebook comment.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Speaking of innuendos, I love the joke of when Martha Kent is talking to Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She said something to the effect of, Clark said that you were very thirsty. And then she's like, no, I meant hungry. And I'm like, yeah, thirsty bitches, yeah.
This was great.
Was so funny.
And that's what I loved about it was that it reminded me of the Justice League animated series with all the sexual innuendos that they had.
It was fantastic.
Like Fastest Man Alive, which explains why you can't never get a date. Yeah, hey! Yeah, I love that show.
It's great.
Yeah,
Great.
this was pretty cool. And I liked how Batman was kind of like a leader, how... I knew it was kind of a quick segue, but I do like how it showed that, yeah, he felt guilty for what happened at the end of Batman vs. Superman. He was trying to set things right, which made sense, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, if anything, for the first part, Batman was definitely the leader, and then there was kind of a part where Wonder Woman took the helm as leader, but Batman was still doing his own thing and playing his part. So
yeah,
it worked. I do think that overall Batman took a bit more of a back seat than I was anticipating, but it still worked, and they all needed their time. So someone's got to end up sacrificing a bit of that time, and that's understandable. But
yeah. I mean, speaking of which, one person I feel really sorry for is Zack Snyder.
Me too.
Because
yeah.
this was like a big movie that he was making, and then sadly there was death in his family, and he was really depressed to the point where he couldn't do the reshoot. So Joss Whedon took over, in a way. So you're not so sure how much of this is his movie versus, Joss Whedon taking over.
And Warner Brothers, but
Yeah, true, but yeah, I do feel really sorry for him, but I'm just hope at the end that he's happy with his product, or maybe we'll get different cuts of the movie when it comes to home video, which would be pretty interesting to see.
yeah, I certainly hope that he's doing well. That's the most important thing. And that
Yeah.
he and his family get through this, because he's a great director, and what happened is beyond tragic, and it's terrible that that has to happen to anyone.
True.
But if and when he gathers the strength to come back, I can't wait to see in part two what he is going to do with this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's cool to have like, be funny and have some light moments, but you gotta have some serious moments to set apart from the MCU.
True.
Which, yeah, I think is important. Yeah, but the thing is that what was it? Like, he's kind of like a director like Steven Sommers, where I like to defend. I mean, I know that both these directors have their movies that have been kind of iffy, but we both, enjoy some of their movies a lot, and that we'll defend them from time to time.
Yeah, and critical establishment just loves to shit on these people as if the people they defend are flawless, and it's completely ass backwards at points.
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
just
it's kind of like a clique of people where they pretty much will typically agree and like some type of movie, whether it be a certain genre or a certain agenda of theirs that they approve of,
yep.
sort of deal. But anyway,
Meta normie shit posters is what I kind of classify them as. And
as what?
Meta normie shit posters.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah,
all right.
so they kind of run this small collective that, a few people get to decide what's cool for everyone, and then everyone just falls in line from there.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that Danny Elfman did a soundtrack for them. In fact, you can kind of hear hints of not just the Batman theme he did back in the 80s with Michael Keaton, but also we even hear a little bit of the Superman theme by John Williams briefly.
Definitely.
Which was great. But anyway, so what would you give this movie, Steven?
Well, let me just say real quick.
Yeah, okay.
You were talking about the music. I really did like the music at several parts. The part in Gotham where Batman shows up and is on the I guess the pedestal or the gargoyle.
Yeah, like the gargoyle.
Down, and they play the Batman theme from, I think it was Danny Elfman.
Well, yeah, he also from the 80s with Michael Keaton.
Man, that hit my G spot. That was
Yeah.
that was so good that they did that, and it was just perfect. I could tell that was a Snyder decision right there.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. And overall, I just really enjoyed this as a fun movie. There were flaws with it, but it was fun. And I think that people who, for some reason, didn't like Batman vs. Superman, they will definitely like this more. I personally, I don't feel like I can say I liked it more, because there were things in Batman vs. Superman, for the few flaws that it did have in my perspective, that the tone and the message were quite a bit stronger. And this one, in the end, was just fun. It brought and will probably bring more people into theaters, which is a success. But it just, to me, it'll probably be the second best for a while of the DCEU, second to BVS. But it is overall fairly close for different reasons. So with that in mind, and I also didn't get to say, Steppenwolf, his face when you actually see it, I think it's a little goofy. The CG overall is on point throughout the movie, and it's one of the more beautiful visual effects films I've seen this year, along with the new Transformers and Blade Runner. I think
2049.
Yeah, I think those three have arguments for some of the best visuals this year, hands down. But yeah, I would say his face visual effects were a little weird. But other than that, really had a fun time with this one. I'll probably see it again at some point to, definitively give my perspective on it finally. But on initial viewing, I would give this probably an 83 to an 84%. That feels right about where I would put my marker.
Okay. I mean, this movie, I was expecting it to be fun. I got a fun movie, and that was pretty cool. in that. But I did think the action was really good in this movie. I felt like the movie could have been longer in a way. There could have been at least one more action sequence in the movie.
Definitely.
I could have felt that they could have had in there. And also there's some stuff where it's like, yeah, I can kind of tell where there were some reshoots where Joss Whedon kind of took over a little bit. And it's cool that they have, someone like Joss Whedon who was at Marvel at one point, now at DC's helm, which is cool.
That is.
Steppenwolf is sadly kind of falls into the same category as some of the other MCU villains where they're kind of just throwaway, but keep in mind, it kind of makes sense that Steppenwolf is kind of like that because he's just like a lieutenant in the grand scheme of things of the big, head honcho, which is Darkseid.
Yeah, he's leading up to it, so it's understandable. Similarly to someone like Loki, that he just gets his ass beat and... he poses a threat for a while, but we know how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's cool seeing the parademons, how they kind of fed off fear, which is kind of cool that they did that sort of thing about it. I really did like Ezra Miller's The Flash. He definitely won me over. I did like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I did like the other actors who came back for their roles, so it was pretty cool in that. It's a movie I really enjoyed. It wasn't as deep as Batman versus Superman, what they were going for.
Definitely.
Visual stuff. I do, in a way, I have to debate how I would rank it compared to other DCEU movies. Sorry about that. But I will say it's definitely, without a doubt, better than Suicide Squad, a movie that gets worse the more I watch it. It's not a bad movie, but I think it's an average mess.
I got you.
I would say. So with this movie, yeah, pretty good. Some of the reshoots by Joss Whedon, especially in the first act, I felt like was kind of questionable with music choice, and I tried. Yeah. So I felt like was really good, and definitely one of the better movies I've seen all year. So as for Justice League, I would give it 3 stars out of 4. Now, I said that a lot, I know. But, my thoughts on movies change throughout time. That's not, set in stone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm trying to think if there was I remember what the funny thing was going to be at the end. I brought this mini flashlight of mine that showed the bat signal. I got it at Spirit Halloween a year or two ago. And I always wanted to use it when I went to go see a movie with Batman in it. So I kind of shined it behind, one of the seats in front of us. And I accidentally, put it on. Well, it was when the advertisements were playing, and you can kind of see the signal.
Oh.
And I was joking to Steven, it'd be awful. It would be a really douchey thing if I just kept shining it every time Batman shows up on screen.
Every time. And I said, literally shine it on the bat signal.
Yeah.
You know from the trailer it's going to be up there at some point.
Yeah, I am not going to be that douchebag.
Yeah. No.
Who does it. And also, draws dicks and claims to be a straight guy.
Right. I'm so comfortable with my sexuality, I can pump dicks and draw them, and it's not a problem. Yeah.
And I claim to get nudes, even though I have no solid concrete evidence. I probably just got them off the internet.
Right.
But inside joke. So, all right. So this is Tyler from End Critter Reviews.
And Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
And we hope you enjoyed this episode of After the Credits on End Critter Reviews. I wish we had a lot more people here because I miss the Backseat Boys are back, all right,
Absolutely.
kind of thing.
Backseat Boys, where you at?
Yeah, hopefully with the new Star Wars movie, we'll get them together. And yeah, we'll hope to make a lot more in the future. Please like and subscribe.